Hey, we're building a she shed. And by we, I mean all my guys, at least at this part. Now, this is part 2 of a series. I'm going to take you through everything we're doing. So here's a quick recap. The original shed was built around 2002. I drew up the plans and Ben built it exactly like I wanted. And then here's how it looks after 2 decades. My word. So we needed some space, some storage space, some crafting space. I had good ideas from friends and Pinterest. There's little bits and pieces I have taken from all these images. And I put it together in a very hacked Photoshop job. And then we decided on some better doors and then putting a little gable detail. And I love the color scheme of that little tiny shed. The original shed, 10 feet front to back, 22 feet is the addition. Here's the reason why we're building a she shed. My daughter Olivia, her son Ryan, and the baby that will be here in 2 months are going to be staying with us temporarily, for a while. And we're making room in our house by emptying 2 of the bedrooms and taking those things to the shed addition. Now, here is a drawing that I just did on paper to kind of get an idea of what's going to be happening in this she shed. You can see I had made a place for all the kayaks, and that's not going to go with my shabby chic aesthetic, nor will the extra stored furniture that will eventually go back in my house. But in the meantime, this is just what's got to happen. It's got to be practical before it can be fabulous. If you see on the sketch, you'll see where I'm going to be using some of Olivia's furniture mixed in with mine because hers has to be stored anyway. So we're making it enjoyable and storage at the same time. Now, this is a huge feature for me. I have always dreamed of having enough shelves that I could store. I have a huge vintage china collection, lots of craft supplies, all that. We hope to be able to, we intend to put a loft on the back end. Like when you first step in from the front door, it would be all the way toward the back, 8 feet deep. Maybe something like this, except no walls on the bottom, at least not for now. We are, still dreaming, and I'm still gathering ideas, and this is just gorgeous, and I couldn't resist but to include some of these dream images so that I can kind of steer the ship toward accomplishing some of these, because isn't that lovely? Now, there's not really going to be a lot of windows in here, and I may have to reconsider and put more windows in, but you can see that painting white on the inside would lighten and brighten everything immensely. Now, I'll have to admit, we got a time crunch here. We've got 1 month before Olivia and Ryan will be moving in here, and we need to be practical. I'm not sure if I can accomplish all the aesthetic things that I want, but here's my excuse I'm going to have ready for the near future. I have plans in my she shed. I have plans creating the she shed. Oh my goodness, we've got a lot of work ahead of us. Now, I've included this image so that you could see that lots of gorgeous vintage things are on that shelf. And I'm going to have that long wall of shelving, and not everything's going to be in tubs. I want to make some of it displayed and accessible and almost like a shop of my own, so that I can go in there and see what I've got and bring it into the house. This was very appealing to me in the fact that, you can see that it's inside a shed that's been painted white. This will be a lot more spacious than I imagine mine will be, because mine's going to have to be full of stuff in the beginning. But dream it, build it, think about it. a pegboard would be awfully nice, and I love that they've painted it a lovely color that was bright and precious. As it turns out, the chandelier from my rose room, I'm not sure if it's going to stay in the rose room because it's going to get used for a different purpose. So that chandelier may actually come to my she shed. I haven't talked to Mr. Cain about this. He'll do whatever I beg him to. And he usually doesn't have to be begged, but I'm prepared to beg. So, look. Oh, I just realized there's a cat on that table. My word, that's a big cat. What I was focusing on in this picture is the fact that they have the transparent things, what do you call those, panels on the roof, so that it's getting tons of light. Now I'll have a loft, you know, over that back end, so I'll obviously have to have lighting installed there. Okay, we had to have tree work done. As we were getting started on this project, we realized 2 trees were in dangerous condition. One had a big hole that made it hollow on the entire top half, and it was only about 10 feet from the shed. The other one had been struck by lightning, so the tree trimmers came out, and okay, there's the sweet gum tree that was hollow in the entire top half, and it has been laid down just expertly by Denson Tree Service. They did a great job. And then there's the pine that was behind where our new shed addition will be going, and that was a massive, like probably a 75-foot tall tree, and that's having to be at least moved out of the way. This is a good view of, like, if you were standing at the she shed looking toward my house. We have estimated it's about 40 yards from the shed to the house. Oh, so much tree debris that we're still going to clear. So here's my fella with his own chainsaw and his Kevlar protective pant things. Chaps? Is that what you call them? Chaps? Anyway, he worked and worked. It just so happened hardly anybody else could go out there with him and work. But he didn't mind doing the hard work, and he says all the time that he works in a cave. in a lab with no windows behind a desk, and he loves to be outdoors doing just this. So I did my part by burning firewood. I used to get out there and like move logs and stuff with him, but you know, I have to pick and choose my tasks. So my job was to be the fire burner. Now I want you to look how clean. He took the blower and blew every bit of the chainsaw sawdust and cleared all that off and got it ready for putting blocks down, which he actually started that yesterday, but it was kind of raining, and I didn't go out there and sit with him when he was doing this. But there's a sketch that he had of, and I don't even know all these secret codes that he's got, but this is his sketch of how to place the cinder blocks onto the poured concrete footings. And then he is planning out how much lumber is going to be needed for the actual floor, for the joists and the, you know, the actual flat part of the floor that we would step onto. And he's going to use treated lumber. And that is another after picture of cutting up the big sweet gum tree. You can see the stump is still there. That's okay. And the scaffolding, you can see there's a stack of scaffolding that was Ben's dad's that we have at our house now. We intend to use it, you know, to be able to build the inside of this shed. It's going to be really tall. The wall itself will be 10 feet, and I'm not super sure about the distance, the rise of those gables in the roof. I don't know yet. Just wanted to include a picture of a quilt that my mama made. And you know, I'm a quilt lover, so I had the quilts with me. You know, I have them everywhere, even outside. And Ben cut up some some of those big pieces of the sweet gum tree. Those are making excellent footstools and tables for our area, and we're just out there. That was Sam, my oldest son. He was really tied up with homework and stuff. And Ella, my little dog that's forever by my side, I just looked down and she's just doing that, staring at me. Oh, she loves me. All right, this is a sneak peek of, that's Olivia's board that she created for nursery plans, because one of the bedrooms they're moving into is going to be the nursery. And that's her color scheme that they had already picked out, and I loved the color scheme so much. I wanted to use those very colors in the big playroom. See, now they're going to be in the downstairs. There's 2 bedrooms and a big playroom downstairs. And that playroom is in dire need of a clean out and a refresh. And we're going to go bold. We're going to use that dark green. Maybe not that exact shade, but she has furniture that's that color, and we love the way that looks together. That's a Pinterest image. And we also have a little kitchenette that is shaped like this. You know, we're not wine drinkers, so you know, just ignore all that. Oh, and everybody wants to put wine on their downstairs kitchenettes, but whatever. This image was really a good representation of how my stairs look, coming from the main floor of our house down into that playroom. By the way, the playroom is a walkout basement. There are windows in every room of the downstairs level, so it's not as dark as you think, but we're going to have to make sure we have a lot of good lighting. Good thing I'm a lamp lover and I have a ton of lamps. Well, I love planning. I love sharing with you all the ideas that we're having, and I'm gonna just continue to keep updating and putting out videos every few days about our shed progress. And I'm also working on a video just all about the baby nursery and all the decor that's going in there. It's gonna be a thrift flip. Please comment, give us good ideas and suggestions and feedback. I always read every comment.